What's going on, Everly Sports? Back with another video. In this video, I'm going to be talking about the New York Giants' loss to the Seattle Seahawks. As the Giants drop to 6-2 as they lose this game 27-13. And I wanted to make this video today and not yesterday after the game, because yesterday after the game I just was pretty down. I mean, as was probably a lot of Giant fans after a loss, you're not going to be really in the mood to talk or in a good mood at all, really. So, I decided to come out today and do that and make this video. But there's one thing I do know from yesterday. Richie James is a complete ass, and he is terrible. He was god awful yesterday. I don't know. I don't understand. I mean, if you fumble the football one time on a punt return, I get it. But twice is just, how do you do that? It's just beyond me. So that's where the Giants lost the game. Richie James lost his football game. He was pathetic. Careless with the football in his hands, running sideways. Just either take the fair catch or just run in a straight line and pick up 2 or 3 extra yards instead of trying to run sideways to, if you break 6 tackles, get an extra 10 yards. It's just not worth it at that point. So, the decision-making with Richie James is pathetic, and all around with the special teams in terms of the punt returning is pathetic. We couldn't get any blocks. We did get a block one time and it was flagged. A pathetic call on a blindside block in the first quarter. Just an awful call. The officiating was pathetic in this game. Jerome Boger called the Seattle Seahawks the Seattle Mariners. That's all you need to know about him. He's a pathetic ref in this league. He's been pathetic all season. He's probably the biggest idiot in the history of the NFL, which is probably one of the toughest things in sports to do. He's pathetic. He's the worst ref. He's been the worst ref for years, but he's not the reason the Giants lost. The Giants lost because of Richie James. You take a look at what the Seahawks did with those 2 turnovers. That accounted for 10 points just against. And, you think about what the Giants would have got if they would have had the football there. You would imagine they get some points. So, just careless from Richie James, and he cost us 10 points at least. Moving on from Richie James, I thought it was a pretty good game throughout. I'm not going to say it was good, but it was okay. I thought Timon Fox was everywhere. He was great in this football game. Micah McFadden had a sack. Leonard Williams had a sack. On a third down play, Xavier McKinney flew out of the secondary and crushed Geno Smith with a big sack. That was actually what ultimately ended up leading to one of the fumbles on the punt return. So, all that for nothing. But, it was all around a really good game, I thought, by the defense, other than that one touchdown drive when they just let them go 5 for 5 for 75 yards right down the field. Outside of that, the defense was great. They were on the field a lot. I think the Giants, offensively, they weren't able to do much other than that first drive of the second half where I think they chewed 9.5 minutes off the clock. Other than that, the offense couldn't get anything going. Daniel Jones was 17 for 31 for 176 yards passing. But bulk of those yards were in garbage time when the Giants were down 2 touchdowns. So I'd say about 40 yards of that. So, but hey, numbers are numbers. Barkley was not great. He had a couple nice runs, but it's not his fault. He had nowhere to go. I thought the play calling was not great. Of course, Barkley, in the 20 carries he only had 53 yards. He had that one touchdown. That was, really nice play from Dory Jackson to pop the football out of Tyler Lockett and give the Giants the football inside the 5-yard line, I believe, at the 2. So I thought that was a good play that really gave the Giants some life. Dexter Lawrence nearly blocked a field goal. It hit the crossbar and went in. Overall, like I said, the play calling wasn't great. I didn't like what Kafka did. I think he, though, will figure it out. I thought it was really tough being at Lumen Field. I think Jones was changing a lot of plays, at the line, and that was not easy to do. A lot of time was getting ticked off the clock. I think we got a couple delayed game calls because he just couldn't communicate the play call, because of the crowd noise. Not an excuse, but I think this is a learning week for the Giants. Hey, they're still 6-2, looking in great shape. I think if the Giants win 3 or 4 more games, they're looking at the playoffs. And you look at our schedule, that's very, very doable. We're going into the bye week, and coming out of the bye, we have the Texans and the Lions. I believe both are at home, so those should be a couple of wins. But the Giants need to just worry about what's in front of them, not get too ahead of themselves. They're in a more than okay situation. We're in a great spot. There's nothing to worry about if you're the New York Giants. You just got to play your football week by week. The coaching will get better. It was one off week from this football team, and it does not concern me. Everything is still fine. A lot of Giants fans might panic because they see that Brian Daboll got out coached by Pete Carroll, which Pete Carroll is one of the best head coaches in the history of football. So take nothing away from Pete Carroll, but the Giants are fine. Everyone's going to overreact to this loss. The fact that we're disappointed over a loss means that we're expecting wins and we're a good football team. So that's good, considering we are supposed to be in a rebuilding year. We are. That's arguably our toughest road game on the schedule. We just got out of the way with. It very well might have been. You take a look at the road games we have this year. The Titans is a tough one. We won that game. The Packers considered a road game, but it's on a neutral site. The Jaguars, we beat them on the road. The Seahawks, that's a tough road game, and we lost it. We're not going to win all the games on the road, but I think the Giants going into a bye, this is the best possible time they could have lost a football game, going into the bye where you have an extra week, to kind of unpack it and figure yourself out. We're going up against 2 opponents that are worse than us, but take nothing away from them because we cannot underestimate our opponents, especially at this point in the season, where every win is crucial. We're in the toughest division in football, which doesn't help. We're 6-2 and we're 3rd in the division. But you take a look at what we'd have to do to miss the playoffs. A current 3-win team would have to knock us off to miss the playoffs. I like the Giants' chances. I really, really do. We're 6-2 and we're staring 8-2 right in the face going into a Thanksgiving game in Dallas. So that would be a pretty awesome situation if we can go into that game 8-2. Meanwhile, if you take a look at the Cowboys, they got 2 tough games ahead of them before that. They got the Packers and Vikings on the road after the bye. So Giants are in a great spot, a really good spot. I'm actually really happy with where we're at. And, moving forward, I have no concerns with this football team in terms of their energy and their level of, competing. I think they're going to compete every single week, and I think it's going to translate to wins. Don't be discouraged with this Giants football team. Do not worry about them. They're going to play the way that they have so far to this point in the season, the rest of the year. Do not be worried. You guys let me know your thoughts in the comments down below, your thoughts on this Giants 27-13 loss to Seattle Seahawks at Lumen Field. Tough game. We could not get the win. But you guys let me know the good stuff down in the comment section. As always, please leave a like on the video, subscribe to the channel if you guys want to see you guys on there. As always, let's go Giants.